One of the things that makes Xbox's current position quite interesting to me is because a lot of it is on the back end. I made a video just recently. I talked about Diablo 4, it printing $1 billion. In fact, I think the Activision purchase, absolutely worth every single billion and penny attached thereof. It's the kind of revenue that many publishers, including Rockstar themselves, would dream about getting annually. Diablo has done over $1 billion, and $150 million of that is from exorbitantly priced skins. This particular, report was put out here September 16th for a game that is closing in on its 1 year mark. If they continue to expand upon this game, the printing of the money is insane. Somebody was asking me in a video, they said, well, how about the purchase of, Activision compared to the purchase of Bungie? Because, I said, and we all know that the Bungie acquisition by PlayStation hasn't yielded anything that we can see. I mean, just think about it from a gamer perspective. There ain't nothing out here so far. Not saying that Bungie cannot make the required or necessary comeback or, infusion of money, but they just still seem to have a ways to go. And they asked and said, well, in the case of Activision, what is that bringing in? My dude, if that's what you're worried about, man, you don't even know what else, to say at this point in terms of PlayStation. PlayStation is lost. And then they asked, how about Bethesda's $7 billion? Yo, have y'all seen this report? This thing went under the radar so quietly. September 20th, 2024, The Elder Scrolls Online makes hefty $15 million in monthly revenue. I covered this also in another video. This is the sinister methodology in terms of how things are going. Now, with all this said, it brings me to the one and only Astrobot. Oh my gosh. There are people who are constantly hassling me or haggling me, telling me why I'm not making a video on Astrobot, or why I'm actually not, why I'm putting down Astrobot or whatnot. I'm putting that game in its place. All of this fawning over some, platformer from PlayStation fans who sit here and shout third-person quality games, to me, is not convincing. Just letting you guys know, because I've seen you guys roast Xbox games for doing some similar things, and in some cases making games that we would consider much more appealing to this demographic than Astrobot. Believe you me, you put Astrobot in front of the demographics, the age group, and put Starfield for free. Just put both games in front of people for free. Many people would choose Starfield regardless of what it is you want to talk about. I mean, obviously, we're going to see the sales come out pretty soon, and I think that's probably going to, in a sense, point out exactly what's going on. So somebody mentioned in one of my videos, they said to me, and I thought this was very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, we really got to take a look at this stuff. They said that, trying to drag, Astrobot reeks of jealousy. Number one, this is the kind of game I buy for my children. There is no reason, there's no rhyme, or there's no idea inside of my head where I will be jealous about Astrobot. That's just nonsense at the end of the day. Something else they said in response to this was, you scoffed at the idea of Astrobot being Game of the Year contender. I don't think I did. I said I don't touch games like that. And even if I scoff at the idea, I scoff at the entirety of the concept of Game of the Year. Why? Those who are making the decisions about Game of the Year have constantly proven to us that they are not worth anything to pay attention to. How do we know? Well, let's go ahead and look at just, my favorite game of 2022, Gotham Knights, and let's see if these, 2021, sorry, was it 21 or 22? I can't remember, whatever it is. Well, it's Gotham Knights. Let's look at the way they reviewed that game. They gave it a 5 out of 10 and said it was mediocre. These same companies and outlets, not saying it's the same reviewer, went ahead and gave Concord a 7. Keep in mind, what's crazy is this same person, Travis Northup, is the same person who reviewed Gotham Knights at a 5 and gave Concord a 7. My dude, if these are the people that are making the decisions on Game of the Year, I'd rather my favorite games not even receive Game of the Year, in my opinion. What's crazy, another game like Dustborn got a 7. Gotham Knights got a 5. So wait, we're going to sit here and actually pay attention to Jeff Keighley's own evaluation of these video games? Are we, the gamers, not the ones that should be actually voting for Game of the Year, if you actually were to ask me? Because who are the games made for? Gamers. Who are the people who get to decide if the games are actually worthwhile to them? Gamers. If they wanted, they could have people sign up and give their, their proof of actually having played these games, so it doesn't become like, some kind of like contest that can be fixed, and take a select number of gamers that will sign up, that will show proof of having played these games, basically check their PSN, run them through the gauntlet and see if they played them, and then let a PSN or Xbox, account or Steam account, and let them let them be the ones who vote and select what the game award should be. That's what game awards, in my opinion, in the video game world should look like. We're not like the other, if you do an award ceremony across other kinds of media, yeah, you could do whatever the heck it is you want over there, but gaming is just so, in its own little, desert somewhere, in its own, little high seas compared to the other entertainment media, that a Game of the Year nomination means nothing. Let me give you a whole nother one again. Hogwarts Legacy. Oh my gosh, Game of the Year award? The heck is that? This game got ignored for the Game of the Year award nominations. It basically did not exist to these people. Am I going to sit here and care if they nominate Astrobot? Even if they nominate my favorite game this year, I still wouldn't care. That's how much I don't care about this. So those of you who are wanting an Astrobot video out of me, you may not like the Astrobot video you get out of me. I simply don't care. I simply don't. And if I don't care about a game, you're not going to really hear me sit there and like bother with it, in my opinion. But if I care about something, you're going to, like, I care about PlayStation's performance right now in the industry. So expect another 100 videos from me, hopefully, God willing, until PlayStation gets their act together. Oh, yeah. You see, for the longest time, I think a lot of people were saying, oh, you're an Xbox. No. I was just pointing to you guys like, yo, Xbox is closing the gaps in different angles that PlayStation doesn't even exist in. PlayStation doesn't have a good subscription service as good as Xbox. PlayStation doesn't have a good pipeline to make money in terms of, their live service offerings. PlayStation is lacking in terms of value proposition. They don't have good services that they're offering their own player base. When you look at everything from a whole perspective, their presence on PC is lackluster, and they want to go on PC because they need PC. Pointed out all these things over months, and all I got were, a lot of this, these, I don't know what these are. How is this supposed to help? How is this supposed to help in the conversation? Astrobot. The problems are much more than one Game of the Year nomination. Stop excusing nonsense over the fact that you just want to maybe feel like you have a win. If Astrobot's a good game, great. That's your choice. You're the one who played it. I mean, I played Gotham Knights, and I think it's a better game than Astrobot. So you're going to fight me over that? It's all our subjective perception of these games at the end of the day. And I've said that before, right? I've said that before. What I intended to do was to point out the irony that PlayStation fans will make Astrobot seem like a big deal when we know if another company had done it, if another company had actually made a game like that, most of these PlayStation fans would not give that game any kind of attention. If anything, they would pretty much just downplay the game and make it seem like, it's just one of those games. Like, why would they even do a game like that? The proof is right here. Hellblade is one of those games. Hellblade is a production game in a sense. They basically put a big high production there, and PlayStation fans are mocking it. The game looks good. We all know that this is a mocap studio for the most part that made more money than the Concord developers anyways. They made $26 million in services. And they made a game that is according to their prowess, a game that basically showcases their capabilities and their technologies. Sure, if you don't like the game, that's one thing. But to come here and sit down and say like Astrobot when you've already downplayed Starfield and downplayed Hellblade, maybe not you, not saying this person, but some of these PlayStation fans, it makes it hard for anybody to want to take that seriously. And that's just the reality. So you've made your bed, right? You've created an ecosystem where you've downplayed everything that is not PlayStation bread. So lie in it. Lie in that bed. Don't come out here and try to expect everybody to be fawning over Astrobot because you do. Because these other people have had games that, their own favorite creators and their own favorite developers made, and they thought they were good, and most PlayStation fans downplayed it. So this is exactly where we are right now. And then you're also asking the content creator who doesn't give a lick about the game to do what? Look at the game? I wouldn't even play it for free. I don't have the time. That's just the reality. So back to Bloodborne and other games that are interesting to our demographics of games, right? Am I right? Third-person action games that we know PlayStation can make, but right now are refusing to make, yet doing live service games. This is where I think the focus should be because it's based on our interest. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.